What's up, guys? Your boy Josh, Showtime's Fight Forum, and here we talk all things fights. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Now, today's going to be a recap of UFC 292. All right, your boy had another winning record, whatever we want to call it. I finished 5-3. I was very confident that I was going to do better than 5-3. I mean, it is what it is, but hey, 5-3 is better than 4-4, so I take it. Okay, so first things first. That was an amazing fight with Tatiana and Cody Gibson. That was a legit fight of the daggone month. Like, it's up there. It was a good fight. So congratulations to you boys. Obviously, Brad, Tatiana, good job on winning. I hope, this is definitely gonna be your last shot. So, you gotta make it count. So you gotta put in that work. Still, obviously, there's some gaps in the stamp department that you still gotta, work on. But yeah, still, it was good. All right, but like I said, I still have a winning record for the year. I mean, we're already in month 8. We're about to be in month 9 coming up. So, your boy's probably going to finish off with a winning record for this year. So I'm proud to say that, unless I, bomb the next, it'll be the next 4 pay-per-views, unless I bomb them, which, I'm confident. I'm not. But let's get into the actual fights, all right? So, Brad Tavares versus Chris Weidman. Here's the thing. Now, this is obviously a spoiler. You should already know the results, but I should have known better. I normally don't like to pick people on long layoffs. I definitely don't want to pick a person that's on a long layoff that's also older. I definitely shouldn't have picked a person that's on a long layoff that's older and also had a catastrophic injury and is coming from that catastrophic injury. Shouldn't have done it, but I did, just because I thought that Chris was going to rely more on his wrestling. But then I underestimated, and I should have known. Brad Tavares doesn't have bad takedown defense, but I thought that Chris Weidman would still, be able to at least get him down once or twice. Nah, Brad Tavares was having none of that. Solid fight. Thought he fought a very good fight. It's crazy, man. I was kind of, I don't know about you guys, but I was a little nervous for him, man. I was especially when Tavares was landing those daggone kicks, I was like, oh Lord, is that the one that was broke? Oh, don't tell me he snapped it again. When he first started limping, I'm like, oh Lord, not again. But, Chris Weidman, man, he's a tough thug, man. He out there, he handled it and was able to survive and went the distance, which is a win for him because he shouldn't have went the distance. That should have been a knockout victory. I think if Brad Tavares really genuinely wanted to get him out of there, I think he possibly could have. I think there was times he kind of let up a little bit. And then he was surprised that Chris was really firing back like he was. But good dub, Tavares, continue to keep that thing going. Chris Weidman, obviously, I think it's obvious the next step should be retiring. It's pretty over, man. You're not gonna get no title shot anytime soon. And the middleweight division seems to be getting tougher. The game's past you. You had a good career. You're a champion. And, I just feel like just be a dad, be a husband, and enjoy the rest of your life. You're a legend in the sport. I do think you are a Hall of Famer. You're Hall of Fame worthy. So, just enjoy it, man. There's no need for you to be doing this anymore, putting your body through the strain. But it was a pleasure watching you. You definitely broke my heart when you knocked out Anderson Silva, but that's going to be one of the biggest upsets in UFC history. So, be proud of it. Now, let's get into the main card. Marlon Vera versus Pedro Munoz. I will say, I thought I was wrong. I personally thought Pedro won. If I was the judge scoring that fight, I scored it 2-1. Thought that Pedro won the first 2, and it was pretty clean with Cheeto winning the third. I think the second was very close, however, so I'm okay. Even though I saw some people thinking that Cheeto won the first 2, which I'm kind of the first round, I don't think Cheeto did enough. He didn't really land much. Pedro was he was the busier fighter. He was landing a lot. Thought he landed the harder strikes. I thought it was pretty clean for round 1. Second, I thought it was pretty close between both. They both were piecing each other up decently. And in the third, like I said, Cheeto pretty much took advantage, like he always does. I think we're at this state now, man, where Cheeto Vera, he's gonna, I don't know. I don't think that he's capable of changing up his game. He needs to if he wants to beat the higher ups, but he gives away rounds. He's not active, and he relies too much on his power. When you go to the top of the crop, you're not fighting the older and washed or chinny. They can withstand that, which means they will still be able to steal rounds from you. And Vera, he was slow. He looked very slow versus Pedro. Pedro was the quicker fighter, and I love Pedro's kicks. like I said, he just seemed too slow, and not as active as he needs to be, especially in that kind of division where a lot of guys throw a lot of volume. So it's gonna be tough sailing for him, even if he does get the match that he wants, which is the rematch versus Sean O'Malley. You know, I could see Sean O'Malley like legit, like just voluming him, like not voluming him, but I could see him just being the quicker fighter, landing a bigger punch. And now knowing that those calf kicks are coming, he would definitely be prepared for that. So it's going to be tough sledding for Vera if he does get this rematch, which it kind of seems like it's going to happen, even though I kind of disagree with that, but I'm not Dana, so it doesn't matter what I think. Yet still, though, you know, it was a pretty solid fight. It wasn't as action-oriented. Well, I can say action-oriented. It was pretty action-oriented, but it wasn't as much of a slugfest people thought it was going to be. And that's fine. I didn't think it was boring like some people think, but it is what it is. Now, the next fight, it was the last-minute replacement, which was Damon Blackshear versus Mario Batista. Once again, it's another fight where I personally thought I was wrong. I thought that Blackshear did enough to win that fight. I thought it was 2-1 Blackshear. Now, once again, tough fight. I'm okay with giving Batista the fight. Damon definitely slowed down a lot after that first round. And he still looked good, though, man. Like, he looked very soft for a man that literally found out about this fight like 6 days after his last fight. So, you know, power to him, and, you know, shout out to the fight. It was a pretty good fight as well. Really good fight. Now, the next fight that we got to talk about, which is the Ian Garry versus Neil freaking Magny. I was completely wrong about that fight. Now, I'm not shocked that Garry won the fight. Not at all. I can see him winning. But I didn't think he was going to whoop his ass like that. Bro, that was a beating, bro. Neil Magny looked like I haven't seen too many people make him look like that on the feet. He made him look like a little kid. And now that's kind of a bar, because obviously there are little spats about whooping your kids, whatever, that everybody's so sensitive about now. But side note, we're gonna talk about like disciplining your kids, bro. Like, can we get to a stage where we stop involving ourselves in every parent's lives or parenting styles or whatever? Yes, obviously we don't want no type of abuse going on at all. But as far as there's a fine line between spanking and legit child abuse of beating the crap out of your kid. I don't understand why people don't understand the bridge between that. Like, every kid is not the same. You can sit here and say, oh, they did 40 years research. There's a billion people. There's been billions of people in this entire world for the past 50 plus years. There ain't no way you're going to tell me every single kid responds to the exact same thing. You can't beat every single kid. You can't spank every single kid. That's stupid. But you need to discipline your kid in what works for them. Me personally, I know there was several things that you could do. And honestly, sometimes spankings did work. I'm not traumatized for that. If you want to say I am, cool, but I have a therapist. We good. We good over here. Back to the actual fight that we need to talk about, which is the Ian Garry versus Neil Magny. Bro, I thought it was so crazy how the issue was obviously about spanking your kids, and that man was spanking that leg, man, with his leg kicks. I mean, from the first leg kick, it seemed like Neil Magny was compromised and he was bothered. And Ian just picked him apart. I'm not with the Conor McGregor shtick, but at the same time, we got to think, maybe that's how Irish people are. Maybe that's how, maybe Conor McGregor's an average Irish person. That's how a lot of them are. Who knows? Like, I don't know that. But maybe if it is a shtick, it's played out. If that's just how a lot of them act, then okay, cool. But yeah, and still, it's old, man. Be yourself. Anyways, he did work. And I'm a little disappointed he didn't get the finish. He should have got the finish. I don't know how he really didn't get the finish. It just seemed like honestly, at the round one, it seemed like Neil was just there to survive. And he was able to do that, but Ian should have got him out there. Now, everybody wants to say, like, you know, is he ready for a big fight? Clearly, I would be cool with them running it back with Jeff Neal. I think that's the fight to make. It's weird that Wonder Boy didn't take that fight. That's kind of lame in my opinion. Like, you're fighting a striker now. That is what you wanted. He's an up-and-comer. He will get you close to the title shot. What was the issue? I don't know. Maybe Wonder Boy's hurt and he couldn't make the timeline that they wanted. I don't know. But it seemed kind of weird. Wonder Boy, I have a lot of respect for. So there has to be a reason that we don't know. So, but Ian, man, like I said, the kicks look good. The range distance, man, like they both were super long. It seemed like one could adjust, the other one couldn't. So, yeah, and then his takedown defense looked pretty solid. Neil is not a great takedown artist, but he's good enough. As I believe, he also took down Kelvin Gastelum, who's a freaking wrestler. So it's good enough takedowns. He didn't obviously have a whole training camp to work his takedowns, but we know he's skilled enough to be able to take people down. And Ian wasn't having none of that. So power to you. Shouts out. If I was to say what was the next fight, like I said, I think he should run it back and with Jeff Neal. Now, if it's not gonna be Jeff Neal, then you have to think like the top 5 dogs in there is like really all contenders. I would say Kevin Holland should be the next fight. Kevin Holland versus Ian Gary would be fireworks. The press conference probably be entertaining, but the fight would probably be more entertaining. So would love to see 2 rangy guys, athletic. One's more of a power puncher, other one's accumulations. It would be a fun fight. So let's definitely make that fight if we can't make the Jeff Neal fight. Now, the co-main, ain't much to really say about the fight itself with Weidman versus Amanda Lemos, which other than that, it was complete, utter destruction. Like, she got whooped. Now, with that, it wasn't like Amanda Nunes, and not like Lemos did not come to fight. It's different between what we seen with the opponent who fought Amanda Nunes, and I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but where she didn't have any volume, she kind of seemed scared and timid to even get in there. But when it came to Lemos, no, she came to fight. Like, that choke seemed tight. She caught Weidman multiple times in the second and in the 4th round. So it's like, all right, she's there to fight, but you just see that there was a skill gap. There was a quickness gap, and a wrestling gap was there. Like, Weidman has got so much better. And now it's just to the point where you can't just rely on one thing, because if you're not as well-rounded, she's going to pick you apart whatever you're not good at. Oh, you're a good striker, you got power, I'll just take you down. Your takedowns better be top. If your takedown defense ain't top-notch, I'm just going to take you down. All right, cool. You got good ground game? You good at takedowns? I got good enough takedown defense to stop it. Okay, I can then pick you apart in the feet, be super quick, and then, just land my power shots. It's a nightmare for y'all. It's a nightmare for the 115-pound division. Roses went up. So now, in reality, it's just Tatiana Suarez right now that's the biggest threat. And we all know she can take anybody down. She can't take down Weidman. Now, the question will be, can she take her down for 5 rounds? And if she can't take her down for 5 rounds, can she submit her within the first 3 rounds, before Tatiana gets a little tired? Because I've seen Tatiana get a little worn out in the 3rd round. Fighting a person like Weidman, she can get gassed, but she has a second gear. She can fight through that. And I don't know if Tatiana necessarily can, because we've never seen her in a 5-round fight. So this is, in my opinion, the next fight. Yeah, I know some people are going to say Aljamain should be the next one. I think Tatiana Suarez needs to be in there. And the reason why I'm saying is, 1, she's undefeated. 2, if not then, now, when. She's getting older. Her time is right now. And also, if I'm correct, didn't Aljamain and No, I'm sorry. No, it was not. I was gonna say that was Carla Esparza who beat the brakes off of Aljamain. But yet still, I think that we should do that. Now, if y'all already have China booked, then yes, y'all need to do the Aljamain versus Weidman and have that clash. But if it's gonna be in America, if it's gonna be somewhere that's not in China, I say put Tatiana Suarez in there. And I'm ecstatic because I'm a big fan of both. Both are like elite fighters, and they're honestly one of my favorite fighters to watch, both of them. So that's what I think is next. Weidman, I think she's moving up in the GOAT list, in my opinion, as far as women GOATs. I think she's the greatest 115-pounder ever. I'm sorry, I think she's second. Rose is one. I think that they should definitely have a trilogy, and then because that second fight was just so close, but yet still I think she's the second best, and she's working her way up to being one. She's that good. Now, the main event, the fight that we're all there for, OMalley versus Aljamain Sterling. All right, look, I was wrong, and I'm cool with being wrong. We got the Sugar Show is here. All right, and he looks homeless, and he looks like he listens to Post Malone 24/7. But it don't matter because y'all love him. I love him. He's a funny dude. He don't seem to take himself too serious, but at the same time, he does take himself serious, and he has power. He's athletic. And I mean, he's fun to watch. He's an entertainer. So, shout out to him. He literally drew out Aljo style and made him make a mistake, because the first round, he wouldn't give him what he wanted. He wanted to close the distance, put him against the cage, try to take him down. Didn't work. And I was disappointed in Aljo's game plan, because I've seen you spam takedowns before. I've seen you literally say, go for broke, get your takedown. You didn't do that at all. You went for a takedown, half-hearted, half-assed, and then didn't get it, and it was cool to stand up. You got too comfortable. Got too comfortable, and that's what Sean O'Malley wanted, and you got clipped, and it was all she wrote. I thought the stoppage was quick, but I'm not pissed about it. I don't care. It's not that big of a. There's nothing to cry about. I do think he could have let her go on a little longer, but it's because it is a championship fight, and I do take that kind of stuff serious. But at the same time, it is what it is, bro. You face planted bad. So yeah, Sean looked good. Takedown defense looked good. He looked locked in. So I mean, it's Sean O'Malley time, bro. We're in the sugar era. Okay, the sugar era. So Aljo, you don't get a rematch. I think you should stay in the division though. Try to get 1 or 2 fights and try to get that rematch. I do think you're capable of winning. And shout out to a good championship run. Now, like I said, it's Sean time, and I think that he's gonna end up taking the Cheeto fight. But I think reality, it should be Merab. If it's not gonna be Merab, then it should be Sandhagen, and then Cheeto should be third. But then you also got Umar Magomedov coming up. Bro, this is about to be, but it's about to be bad in this division. This division is about to have a lot of firefights. These championship fights are gonna be crazy, and I'm here for all of them. All of them. Now, before I say this, now let me get into this. We need to make sure that we show respect to Aljo. Simple and plain. Because I'm tired of you guys over here hating on Aljo for whatever reasons you want. He comes to fight, and at the end of the day, he gives it his all. And he's a very respectful dude, man. So it is what it is, and you know, I'm happy that you had a good run. Now, once again, I'm 5-3. I'm gonna continue to do well, but if you want some money, make sure you cash at me at Showtime Sanders. My next drop is gonna be about Sean O'Malley versus Tank Davis, and should that happen. Because at the end of the day, I guess that's what the next talks is. But it is what it is, though. Make sure you follow me on social media at Papa Showtime, Josh Showtime, and thank you for watching. As always, man, be blessed.